Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Spotlight, where we host the most influential youth from the hood.
Mama Joe. Goedemorgen naman kapi gompieno on the spotlight. It is your favorite selector, Onhle the DJ. It's where Gafali, Thabo Mamboshi, Thabo Maperepere, Thabo Tash, Matsebe. Am I right?
Yeah.
Aboti man.
So much energy.
Aboti man. So would you please tell us about your background and what is it that you do, like Thabo Tash man?
Oh, Thabo, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Thabo is something else. So basically, I'm Thabo Matsebe.
Yeah, sure.
A 20-year-old from Protea Glen.
Sweet.
But originally, I was born and raised in Orlando.
Yeah.
So you can say I'm a Kasi boy, original Sowetan.
Yes, I say Kasi.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, but man.
So yeah, Thabo Matsebe. Currently, I'm an electrical engineer student at Southwest Gauteng College. Doing electrical engineering diploma. And I'm also doing my diploma in fitness training with Trifocus Fitness Academy.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so basically I don't like to break down things, but I would like to say I'm a creative arts entrepreneur and a fitness entrepreneur.
Yeah, sure.
So with the fitness entrepreneur, I deal with training people. I deal with nutrition. Then with the creative arts, basically I'm a choreographer, I'm a dancer, I'm a stage director. I'm a writer.
Yes.
So I'm a whole package. That's why I was like, if I would say there's like I'm a director, I just say I'm a creative arts entrepreneur.
We are forced that culture.
I should force that push at that.
Push
at.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So,
alright. So Hotmani, Australia, when was it that you decided to take like umdanso as a career, and what circumstances were you under? Like which was doesn't umdanso no why in this only same yeah, sure.
You see, that question is tricky. It's tricky.
Yeah.
With dancing, I don't say I chose dancing.
Dancing chose you.
Exactly. Because half of the time, and that's one thing people ask me, like, where did you learn how to dance?
Yeah.
But when I'm like, I don't remember being taught how to dance. But the only thing that I remember, I used to dance. And when I would dance, nothing was too difficult about it. You would give me step. I'm like, hey, Ndwana, 1 2 1 2. I'm like, okay, so this is what we do. Do it 1 2. And every time when I would do that, and actually excel. And that's when I discovered, this is just not an ordinary thing. It's not a hobby. It's something that I am called for.
Yeah.
And from then, that's when I was like, okay, this is your direction. Even with high school, I was like, the thing you go to legacy grade 11, you need to submit a UJ.
Yeah.
Well, like, submit a UJ for what? I'm not gonna do that to myself. No, okay, go to TET and then study this dance stuff. Okay, went to TUT and applied, but when I got there, I'm like, EBD. At that time, my mindset was like, EBD. No, I don't want to be that. I just want to give me a stage, give me music. That's what I want to do. And then eventually high school, after matric, the first question my friends asked me, okay, now they've accepted me, events, blah, blah. I'm like, cool, so you tell. I'm like, hey, the next time you see me, probably guys is on stage and on TV.
Yeah, sure.
And that's when I discovered that literally I was calling the universe into my existence. Few years later, TV on stage. So that's when once you align what you want and once you find what you like and then once you stick to it and you speak into the universe, everything comes alive.
It's true. So I understand what you get Tina spotlight village cities can see like it through Pumikanda.
What's going on?
Yeah. So I understand what you hot money man, the dance crew, but Supreme Eye. Yeah, sure. So I'm trying to get up Supreme Eye man. I understand what you then I win an award. What did she's a cool
awards?
And she's a cool baba, but she's South African best dance.
Cool.
Piggy for me.
I
was trying to say it again, man. I didn't know you were Supreme Eye, Kanjani, Tori Ganjani. How was it founded? Like, Ibuyafa, when Utwaka.
Yo, Supreme. So with Supreme, Kez was the founder, aka Mpora Mahasa, was the founder. So Kez, funny enough, Kez and I bumped into each other while we were still in high school. but the whole idea came after high school. So basically, I was the co-founder of Supreme I. So we'd say Kez and I were business partners. And then eventually recruited Tandega, like the baddest female. I still say she's still the baddest female now, especially when it comes to hip hop. And then eventually along came Sia, came Biggie, came dancing. But with that, it became a very great 5-year relationship. You know, like the work, honestly speaking, put in there was phenomenal. You know, and I was in charge of the administration side and the business side, and then Kaz was in charge of choreographing and directing, and then Tandega was in charge of the fashion. Like everyone in the team basically had a responsibility.
So is it Royal Farmer Specs?
No, that has to go with my eyesight issues. So everyone had like their own responsibilities. Where if you don't have a responsibility, then it means you like the team. So that's why I think the hard work, the consistency, everything was aligned. Where now actually the dancing was like the 80% of the work. So we worked. I don't want to lie. I have a knee problem because of Supreme actually.
So you should go sue them.
Basically. So the dancing was, I think when I came in the crew, I was not a hip hop dancer. I was a modern and contemporary dancer. But when I got in there, I became like the baddest hip hop dancer.
So take me along the experience of winning awards. Na the Supreme crew, like how was it winning 2 consecutive awards? Lenela, 2.
You know the feeling. The feeling is, I think I relive that feeling every day, especially when I wake up, because once you have that accolade, that standing, and it's one of the greatest production in Africa. I mean, the person that has started SA Hip Hop Awards is someone that is in charge of Back to the City and is one of the biggest people in Africa and even globally, Osmic. So once you are accredited and once you're given that award, confirm it twice and the following like for me it was like, okay, cool, then I'm legit. I'm not a fly by night. I am not a fly by night. So every time when you get interviews, we'll definitely say, please call us an SA Hip Hop Award winner. Don't say Supreme I. First, speak of the title. So it was one of the. But with that award coming in picture, you now have to understand the work has to be times 2. You know, as much as you are an award winner, the work has to be put in. So now it was like, okay, my knee is so, now it has to be more so. You know, so it is. The experience was great, but we always told ourselves we don't want to be defined by material. We don't want to be defined by. We want to be defined by dance. If you would speak about dancing, we needed to be in that picture. So with that whole experience, it was quite an emotional roller coaster. Because half of the time when people look at you and like you're hardworking, but they don't understand the cause of being a dancer, the hardship that you have to face. You might go out and you actually put a strong face, but you realizing that you are still a hip hop dancer that lives a kasi, where your dreams are not gonna be amended by someone else. You have to wake up in the morning, you have to align yourself, you have to dream, you have to make that vision come. So when you get more awards, it's more hard work, and it somehow became more pressure, but it was a positive pressure because you know you had 5 more people that actually have the same vision and same goal that you had.
So after like the impact that Supreme has made Ekasi, like after achieving all the goals, getting all these awards, like why the sudden break up? Why?
Funny enough, you know, the funniest part is people don't see me as House of Thabo Matsebe. I would get to an audition like, yo, Supreme in the building. I'm like, hey guys. But for me, I'm like, I didn't bend the bridges when I left. It was more on, I think it's time for Thabo to come into the picture. And the breaking up, I honestly say the breaking up, we could have prevented the breaking up. But you know, I always say that I'm a Pogotawa fan. You know, and yes. So your family might be putting you in different situations where now you pressure to work somewhere, you pressure to do something, and it's honestly not personal, but at the end of the day, charity begins at home. And if you cannot install or build home, then it's a biggest problem. You can't peace the world if at home you're still living in a disadvantaged situation. So I felt like people were not really wanting to leave the crew, but because their ambitions and their goals and what they wanted to achieve
was totally different.
Yes, so I mean, I was the first one to leave because I felt like, okay, now this is actually a stepping stone for me to see something else, which was nothing bad. But eventually, how they broke up at the end, I am not quite sure. I don't feel like, deep down on it, I always tell people that I don't feel like we've broken up. I feel like we're still separated. And I always say, if things are meant to be, they will be. If Supreme was meant to be, I don't care if we're 35, but it will happen. You know, it's sometimes you have to have a roller coaster. Sometimes you have to be in certain situations for you to see where you belong. And right now I can see the guys are pushing really great individually. Like, you've got Kaz that's doing pop bottles, amazing work. You have Beggy that's a musician now. Like, and funny enough, if you within the crew, it's things you would pick up that he loves music. And now you're not surprised that he's a musician. He loves events, he loves organizing. You're not surprised, you know. Tandega is doing other things, leading gods, you know. You find that somehow that thing was installed in there. So for me, it was not a breakup. I think it was a separation for people to discover who themselves. Because honestly speaking, we found each other very young. 18, I think 18, 16, we were still young. So we didn't actually discover the world individually. But now that we are grown and we mature, now we understand. So if things were meant to be and if we want to, it will happen. But I know if it will happen, guys, you could imagine the experience that you have individually and the things that you pick up, and then suddenly you come back as 5. I think Ramaphosa would actually unlock lockdown.
so judging from your statement, so you still have hope.
The funniest part is, if I would see something on social media dancing along, the first people I would tag is my crew. It's like, these are my day ones. And honestly speaking, I won't say much, but Supreme will be back.
It's coming.
Supreme will be back.
So please tell the viewers there at home that
it might be same faces, it might not be same, but just no, Supreme might. Like the keyword is might be back.
Alright, please. So we see that you've been doing a whole lot of partnerships, paid partnerships with big brands such as Castle Light, So like me, like so what advice would you give someone who is fresh, like who's new in the game? Like, mangfunu ukuthi ngisebenze na Castle Light and all that. What advice would you give me?
The advice I would give to like newcomers, I don't even like calling people newcomers. At the end of the day, we're young, we have to start somewhere. For me, it's work on your administrative skills. Without you understanding the admin in and out, it's going to be a problem. Because they might give you a contract because they see that you have potential, but if you can't read that contract, it's a big problem. Secondly, it's your state of brand needs to be 95% professional. I don't care whether you usasekasi, usaqala, mixtape. Everything that you need to do needs to be professional, because a person cannot invest in an amateur. A person can only invest in professional potential. So when it comes to digital, especially because digital is the end thing now. So if you're not on digital, chances of you marketing yourself is going to be very slow. So if you're going to be tapping into a digital space, you need to understand who's your target market. You need to understand what's your brand. Like, no matter hey Vuga, what's your brand? You need to say it. You can't now think what I do. We don't want those answers, because literally if someone says House of Thabo Matsebe, I need to know it in and out.
Sure.
I don't even want to give you a chance to think. You need to give me that 1K. So it's one of those things that you need to portray in your digital space. In your Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, that's what needs to sell. I like, in terms of how you speak, you need to speak professional. You need to speak business. What you post, what you send, or how you send it, it needs to be professional. So now you actually don't have a social life, you have a brand that you're with. So when people start a business, they need to understand that it is no longer themselves, it's their brand that needs to speak in behalf of them. So once you take out things out there, they need to stay. People only, like, you might post things today and then you might forget 5 years, but there is someone that's actually going to remember what you have posted 5 years ago. So it's quite important that you sit down, you analyze, you plan, you write down, and you say, this is the direction that I'm taking and this is what I'm doing. So for me, with the digital aspect of things, I already had an influence with Supreme and how you post, what you post, and like, you need to familiarize yourself with it, especially on Instagram. Like, what's the right time to post? Who's online? Who are the big brands? It's questions that you ask yourself, and it's more on self-investment. And then once you have mastered that, be patient, because that's the thing about us. We post for 3 months professionally. Ngoba kusana ne-inbox eyi-1 senyolaphoya ngiyohlala laphoya eSikakhunda ngiyohlala no-James, and then siyohlala sisibhemele happy. And already there's people that are introspect, like they're literally looking at your work. And then when suddenly a U-turn 5 degrees, you have lost an opportunity because you were not patient enough. So you want to be a hit in 5 seconds, where you want to put in the work and you want to be known immediately. And then if it doesn't go according your way, now you want to stop. So it's one of those things where, if possible, I had to go back and go attend workshops. I had to go sit down with people to understand the business, to understand what's going on with the business. I had to invest, take out money to actually listen to someone speak for like 6 hours without understanding their language. I mean, I went to, is it PwC, the one in Midrand? It's one of the biggest marketing companies. Where I had to sit there. Dude, there was English I didn't understand.
Big words.
I was sitting there, I was like, but because I want to be here, I will be here. But eventually, it's one of those things that you need to invest in yourself. You need to, and I think the biggest thing is, if you know your goal, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of the neglection, regardless of the isolation, regardless of any negativity, there's approach. Because with greatness comes test, and it's very difficult test. If you cannot withstand them, then just kiss your dreams goodbye.
So basically what you're saying is, when you're shooting for success, you need some patience in your aim.
100%.
So ngoba mina umuntu usanda indaba and like that follow on Facebook. So the other day you posted ukuthi surviving Nkosi as a gay dude, like I saw that post.
This is why I need to deactivate Facebook.
I saw that post.
Yes.
So like, tell me, like, yini izinto ukuthi uhlangabezene nazo iNkosi? Like, how are you even still surviving as a gay dude, Nkosi?
Sure. You see, if you can follow on those posts, basically I'm writing a mini series of my experience. So there's a couple of deep things that are still coming, which I will not disclose, because you find people that inbox me crying, inbox me sending other stuff. It's like, I'm sorry. For me to outgo and for me to post those things, I had to go a process of healing. I had to go in a space where I won't be ashamed anymore. And realizing Nkosi, I don't blame Nkosi at some point, because Nkosi is not exposed into the educational part of LGBTI. So for them, when they see 2 men in a relationship, it's either sin, it's either demonic, and it's things that they don't wanna. It's not because it's me. Like, I can't praise, I can't celebrate something I don't understand. So if for me to understand it, I need to go back, reevaluate, educate myself for me to understand. So surviving Nkosi, in that sense, I always say I didn't play victim. even though I was a victim to certain situations, I didn't play victim.
Yeah.
Because I can't say, oh, because I was discriminated, I was rejected, I was beaten up, I was bullied, the society hates me. I didn't want to play a victim card, even though I was a victim. But for me, it was like, I am not... Who I am is not determined by my sexuality.
Yeah.
Who I am is not determined by where I come from. You know, I sit down and I know where I want to go. So those circumstances coming, I have to face them regardless. So surviving as a homosexual man, Ekasi, it's an extreme sport, guys. Like, as much as I'm a masculine man, I look masculine. So they don't understand. How your gym, like, and then for me it's like, dude, I didn't wake up and say, yo, I want to be like this, homie. It's who you are, and who you are you can never question. So for me, I had to survive. That's why I'm saying surviving. Like every day is a survival like mode, whether it be poverty, whether it be crime, whether it be homosexual. As long as you still breathe, you're surviving. And it's unfortunate that we are not given things from in a silver platter. We don't come from privileged homes. Everything that you need to do, you need to sit down and be accountable of. You need to think of. When I'm saying surviving, it's the encounters I had. And it's encounters that I had to, self-introspect. I have to heal from myself, because now you can say anything. You can drop a bomb about my sexuality. I would look at you and drop. I'm like, dude, I don't care. But when you, and especially these young gay boys that I'm seeing, and I'm like, there's a lot that you're still gonna experience. And the saddest part is you don't get an older person to say, hey, listen, this is how you live a gay life. You're on your own.
So what advice do you have to that lesbian or that gay ukuthi akafuni ukuphume oludrobhini usazivalele umuntu usafakana neskate ukuthi iskate asimvalele akusinto yakhe umuntu usafakana namabhruti empire amachini ukuthi uyazi ukuthi uthatha iskate yabuJohn Gate wabatshele
waphela washisa
batshele baphume oludrobhini man.
No guys, like you need to understand, like I always say, coming out is not easy. There's background involved. There's home involved. There's religion involved, and there is a support system structure that's lacking. So for someone to come out, it doesn't take them, I don't know, nuts to be eaten for you to come out. There's emotions involved. There's depression. There's anxiety. There's a point where you can't even accept the fact that you are feeling certain emotions towards the same sex. So for me, advising them to come out, it's not a good thing. For me, it's say discover who you are. Be in a process of self-discovery, self-introspect your way. Be sure. I mean, there's people that have been in closet and they're married with kids, but they're still in closet. But it's not anyone's place to tell them to come. You see, when they're ready and when they show and when they have accepted who they are, then it shall happen. But for now, it's like if you're in a closet, go home, shalala. I think that's where you feel comfortable. It's cool. Like stay there. I don't want people to be pressured to come out. It will happen when it happens, and when it happens, be happy about it.
Alright, this is again that was my closet. Yes, come on, my business now. So we understand. Uti, like along your journey, you've been in various dance companies and uvule eyakho manje. So I want to know ukuthi i-company yakho compared to wonke la usungena waphuma kuwo, what are you offering different? It's a different one.
You see, the thing is with my company now, it's more on, I'm hands-on now. Previously it's either the middleman or I am someone's backup. So now I am taking charge of my business. I'm taking charge of my career. So now it's more on my company is the one that outsources. It's the one that goes out to clients. It's the one that sit downs and writes. It's the one that emails. So now directly I'm dealing with the big guns. So now yeah, it's I think the only difference is that now I am in charge, and now I can make the rules, and I can visualize, I can put A and B, and I'm the one that is actually now putting the money on the plate.
So tell us more about your business. What is it that this dance company does for the youth or anyone who would want to pursue dance as a career?
So House of Thabo Matsebe is not only dance.
Yeah.
That's the nice part.
Sure.
So with House of Thabo Matsebe, there's the script writing that's involved.
Yeah.
Where now I send script, I send certain poems to certain industries that love creative ideas.
Yeah.
And then we have the dancing element. The dancing element right now is this outsourcing of dances.
Yeah.
Where if I get a client that wants A, B, and C, now I'm able to outsource dances.
Yeah.
So for now, it's more on giving opportunities and employment to people, rather than giving them services of dancing workshops and that. So again, we cover fitness. Where now I give people the ability to understand why I'm a dancer and why it's important to be fit, why it's important to be healthy, why it's important not to eat everything. But whatever you put in at the end of the day, it's just gonna affect you. So it's always wise that you know. And the nice part about it is I strictly deal with Soweto.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a gap and there is a need for the services that I can offer to Ekasi.
Yeah.
I don't want, even though I tap into the other in the other side, but for me it's always putting my place first.
That's nice.
My hometown first. And with the youth, for me it's, I don't want to say I'm giving a youth an opportunity. I am putting a service to the atmosphere, to Ekasi. So if you seize an opportunity and if you see a relationship that you can build, jump in.
Yeah.
I'm not going to drag you from your house and tell you, I've got this. If you are ready and if you're keen, align to me, let's work together. I don't want to be your boss. That's what I'm doing now. It's more on put in a channel, put in a train. If you're ready to jump in the train, then you will jump in the train.
So tell us again when Teboho touch.
Hey, what's up? Your questions are so random. I wasn't saying big enough. What's up?
Tell us what should we expect from our paid partnerships and your other moguls, those who has Pusha, like what's coming this new year?
This new year.
Yeah.
Hey guys, COVID. Hey COVID. For me, my motto is work hard, put yourself out there, always have a plan, create your own content, things will align. So for me, I don't want to lie to you, with God's grace, the partnerships that I have, the paid partnerships that I have,
Amen.
God was like, hey child, you working, take, this is yours. So for me it's more like that, but I'm not saying God gave it like that. I had to work, because if I'm gonna say I'm a fitness instructor, I needed to put in content of fitness, hence I got a paid partnership with Burlington. When I say the lifestyle, the good, your Castle Light, your KFC, your Budweiser's, certain brands that MTN, certain companies, they align themselves with, okay, this has potential of us putting our brand there because the lifestyle is like that. So with the more following grows, the more content I create, the more opportunities come along. So for me this year, I would always say there's going to be more content that is coming. There's going to be creative and fitness is going to be coming. There is certain things that I can't say, but they're coming. But let's hope that the president doesn't do things, man. Already we had a year that's wasted. Yes. Okay. So there's a lot of alignment that's actually going to happen within my career, which is I'm really excited about. And sometimes I get excited about things that are not even yet there, because I believe in calling into the universe.
Amen.
Yeah. So you see, for me, the hard work is always going to be there.
Yeah.
My daily routines are still going to be there.
Yeah.
Researching is always going to be. Consistency is always going to be there.
Yeah.
So for me, it's more on, I'm always going to put work in my craft, but I know the universe would align itself and things will be put in place. I mean, I'm someone that is capable of doing greater things for bigger brands.
Sure.
And I'm always going to put my hard work there.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to show them that, listen, you need me as much as I need you.
Yeah.
So for me this year, it's more on creating more content. It's more on researching more. It's more on taking along with business, especially with fitness, because that's like my new baby in the company.
Yeah.
So, and qualifications, I am obtaining certain qualifications
That's
because
nice.
I don't want to be a fly by night.
Yeah.
There's things that I want to opt for, but for me to opt for them, I need a certain certificate. And I've went to, you see what I'm saying? Sometimes I need to sit and see my senders go,
Yeah,
go work. And I get man. So it's one of those. So,
Yeah. So what advice would you give someone who would wanna journey into maybe pursuing media or any other career in G? Someone who's young and who's driven and motivated. What advice would you give them?
My advice, it's their choice whether they listen
Or not?
or not. But for me, it worked for me. So for me, I think the advice I would say is finish school.
Yeah.
That's the key important tool in everything. Finish school. Have an accredited certificate. Probably whatever you want to learn. If whether be you want to be a musician, understand what music is about.
Yeah.
Understand the theory side, understand the practical side. Because now you don't want to be working for 10 years because you're doing the same mistake. And you don't know what mistake that you're doing because you have never educated yourself about that mistake. So once you understand the business and what, it becomes easier for you to plan and execute. Because if you know something, it's easier to implement it. And once you implement it, you can see how you now need to balance it right, or how you need to fix it or enhance it. So if you have that planning, it becomes easy. And then my second part is build relationships. You know, don't build, when I'm saying build relations, don't build relationships based on hey, build relationships that are going to play an asset in your life. Associate yourself with the right people. Sometimes we have this thing of, you know, I just want to be friends because we're friends. You know, and we are afraid to say I don't want to be your friend because I'm not gonna benefit anything. At the end of the day, the friends that we actually select are the people that are actually going to be a drive and are going to be a consistent reminder of where you actually want to go. If you buy a Bentley, dog, it's going to be a pressure for me to buy it. So if we na utenga a cigarette, you see what I'm saying? So it's one of those things whereby the certain choices and decisions that you make, you need to be very vigilant. You need to let your background and let where you come from be an inspiration of why you wanna push or why you wanna change where you live. For me, it's one of those. Once you start understanding what is your priority, once you start understanding where you need to be, once you start understanding and being aligned to where you want to be, then it becomes easier for you to make positive decisions. For me, it's more on say, if you want to achieve something, sit down, understand where you are, visualize where you want to go, and be very selective in things that would actually push you from where you are to where you want to go. So my advice is more on, no one is there to nurse you, no one is there to give you opportunities. People don't care about you. It's only you that has to stand and you to actually show that there's a vital role that you can play in a certain opportunity or in a certain task that someone foresees it. So if you are not going to be a valid asset to anyone, then you are just working hard every day to be a failure and for you to actually drown in your own poverty. So there's certain decisions that you have to make and there's certain alignments that you have to be very strict. You can be alone, you can be neglected, you can be pushed away, but as long as you are chasing, as long as you are securing your bag, as long as you are winning personally, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, spiritually, that's important. The rest of the other things are not important. For me, it's a self-introspection and know where you want to go.
Okay, here's a trick question. This is the last question I'm going to ask you today. Between an onion...
guys, it's one of those.
Between an onion and tomatoes, ungaba umuphi? And why?
I think...
Time is ticking.
I know, but I need to think of my answer, you know.
Time is ticking.
An onion? No. I think I would be a tomato.
Why tomato?
It's soft, one.
Yeah.
It's very juicy, secondly. you don't know if it's a fruit or it's a veg.
Yeah.
They might tell you it's a fruit,
Yeah.
but somehow you were told it was a veg. So for me, it's, if I would reflect myself as a tomato, as the juice inside, I am always flowing. Like there's always juice in me.
Yeah.
It never stops. And the softness it comes in. When you look at it, my thing is that it's very hard.
Yeah.
But once you start touching it and once you start cutting it, it's soft. So I can be very intimidating until you start understanding who I am. Like, this guy is a gentle guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when it comes to being a fruit and a vegetable, you will never know. You might think you had figured me out, and then I take the return.
Nice talk. We said, we spoke, we saw, and we're still going to see. Stay tuned. Kisona Spotlight.